The creators of the Enhanced Games, I checked out their website, and so you want to hear
They have a
their,
website?
Of course they do.
their mission regarding
Let's
this
go.
thing? Okay, so let's see. So the official website's mission is to, and I quote, push back against anti-science dogma purported by the incumbent sporting leagues, as they wish that drug use in sport should be a demonstration of science instead of cheating.
This is stupid.
What?
This is stupid. Okay, so this guy,
What?
he's a doctor, right? D'Souza. He holds a PhD in intellectual property law. So he's a lawyer, not even a scientist. Previously worked as a lawyer and VC, venture capitalist. Okay, so check
Wants
this
to
out.
just make money, man.
Okay, check this out. So I saw an interview with him and Piers Morgan, right?
Yeah.
And Piers asked the natural question, why, right? And to which he said why. The first statement of justification that Dr. Aaron D'Souza basically said is because science is real. No joke, literally verbatim. This is what he led with. Science is real. And then the justification is we can push human performance to the peak, blah, blah, blah. People are already cheating in the Olympics. Why don't we just put it out there? And like, he's clearly an intellectual, but there's no way, like, Piers is shaking his head in disbelief. There's a former Olympian there, I can't remember, that was part of the panel, who's also saying, what is this guy talking about? But Piers said something to which this guy interjected straight away, which basically led me here. Dr. D'Souza said that the Olympic Games has had a monopoly of power. And Piers basically said, so you want a slice of this?
Yeah.
If he's a venture capitalist and a lawyer, he wants a slice of this. But my question is one thing. So the theoretical, and he actually had Piers was saying, like, I can't see a scenario where this is safe, right? Like, if you allow people to like jack up with steroids or anything, because steroids is only one thing. There are millions of things that you could use as performance enhancers, right?
Yeah.
People are just going to take it to the limit, to the point, where does it end? Like, you could actually like jack up yourself and die, right?
Yeah.
To which this guy said, like, hold up, well, we use performance enhancing every day. That coffee that you're drinking there is an example of a stimulant, right? To which to be, but that is, I have to say, it's.
He has a point, yeah, but that's within thresholds of what is acceptable, right?
I'm not
Yes.
disagreeing, right? But the whole, there's no doubt that there's a monetary component there. But my question is, if you knew, and funnily enough, conscience of Australian swimming, James Magnuson, said that he'd get, for $1 million, he'd get juice to the gills. Come on, Dan. You don't need to do that. To come back and try it. But like, why would we watch, like, seriously, firstly, let me just keep it real. Olympics is great, yeah? But unless you're into these sports, no one's watching track and field outside. I'm not gonna lie. Like, let's just keep it. I'm really not gonna lie, right? Like, it's every 4 years, and it's important. It's very important, right? These are a lot of times where certain countries, like some of the Arabic countries for weightlifting, some of the random countries. Fiji, we won our first ever one for rugby sevens. It's a really important thing, right? And I'm just talking about the small countries. But independent to that, we are not watching this past this, right? So this is specifically seen as a competition to Olympic. It's not that they want to do a rugby thing and like get all these guys on roids, right? So their competition is the Olympics. So they want to get that market. But say theoretically, I don't know Usain Bolt, like what's the fastest he ran? Let's just call it sub 9 seconds, right? Say we watch this enhanced Olympics.
20, it's like 20 something seconds.
No, 9 seconds for 100 meters, isn't it?
Let me see.
Yeah. Usain Bolt. Anyway, while we're getting fact checked, what I'm saying is, actually, no, I do need the number.
In 100 meter sprint at 9.58 seconds.
It's sub 10, right? Like, I remember this. So let's just say we watch the enhanced Olympics where someone does it for 7 seconds, right? So what? Like seriously, optically, it's going to look the same. We're talking about 2 seconds. I'm not going to be impressed about it at all. So why? Because of science? The hell? Let me tell you another thing where this just falls flat completely, right? If I take steroids and an African American dude takes steroids, I can tell you who is going to receive the steroid better because there's genetic elements that are simply outside.
Science.
This is science.
But what I'm saying is their justification is putting like PED, let's call it PED use, out in the open, levels the playing field. I'm like, Babu, that's literally not how science works, all right? There's a reason I can bench 100 kilos and I will not look as jacked as Usain Bolt because they receive it better, okay? It's the same thing. It's the reason those black guys run like 20,000 miles and you don't see an Australian guy doing it because the genealogy is not like set for that. And it's these idiosyncrasies that make the Olympic Games well. Mm-hmm. But the main thing about the Olympic Games is what? Apart from like winning and all that sort of stuff, it's about the spirit, right?
Yes, the spirit.
The spirit of the Olympic Games.
Competitive
talent,
spirit.
their hard work.
The value. What are the values? It's bloody, something about equality, something about higher, faster, baby.
What I don't get is how is Peter Thiel...
Well, what is it? Hold on. What is it? What's it, Kat?
So it says the three values of Olympism are excellence, respect, and friendship.
Yeah.
Were to encourage effort, preserve human dignity, and develop harmony.
Dude, like...
He loves to say it.
It's just... It makes... Like, if you want to do this... Do a okay. Just letting you know, our dog's just going nuts over there. But so there'll be a background noise. But like, even she's outraged about this.
Yeah,
she is outraged
rightfully.
about this.
And
my thing is, if you want to do like a steroid games, why don't you do it on like fighting, like something that like would just dramatically change it? Apart from like why are you going for the Olympics? Mm-hmm. Just it doesn't.
Well, because there's more. So the other argument that they were saying, and I don't think this was actually a part of the organization's intent, right? They were talking about how these sports players hit a peak up until a certain point of time, and then their career goes away. And then they're having to do normal civilian life, be it become a laborer or pick up what they would have done if they weren't involved in sports,
athlete,
or be something related to the sports, right? And they're talking about this idea of like you're able to have like a second life and earnings as a sports person, because it's also quite notoriously, it's either you have sponsorships or you're like, there's that media aspect as well of being a sports person, when that's how you can make money, but everyone else is kind of, when you're in the middle or the bottom end, it's not really sustainable.
Yeah.
And it's probably that aspect as well. It's kind of recognizing, well, if they've got that ability to do stuff, like what's the value that we place upon it? Because if they're supposed to be the greatest of the greatest,
yes,
that can do this thing, then surely they should be compensated in that way.
Exactly.
And that's an interesting kind of like twist, right?
And it's like, of course, rightfully, the World Anti-Doping Association are rightfully against this, calling it a dangerous and irresponsible concept that would be an affront to clean sport and endanger the lives of athletes.
I just think that, okay, say you're an athlete there, right? And you won a gold medal.
Doesn't it cheapen the value of
So you're gonna go to your grandma and like, Grandma, I want a gold medal.
In Enhance. In Enhance.
It just.
I was the best cheater out of all of them.
I demonstrated science.
Yeah. Or I hit my absolute peak that was out of my reach.
Yes.
That
was induced by external.
By PEDs.
Yes.
The other thing is like, what brands would actually sponsor this? Like, I'm just so confused.
There would be. There are 100%.
Yeah, for the steroids itself, yeah. Big Pharma, yes. But like, apart from that, what? Like
Red Bull.
Dude, like, I'm sorry. I feel dirty about giving this any airplay. This just sucks. I'm sorry. Like, it makes no sense. Like, it's a cash grab. If you were to do this, the Olympics is definitely not like who I'd take aim at. I'll take aim at another league. I don't know if it's fighting or anything, which people have constantly used steroids or like performance enhancing.
Well, that's probably it's already an error. Like how, okay, I'm just trying to find like a similar comparison to what these guys are trying to do, right? Arguably UFC is probably the closest comparison, right?
In terms of what, sorry?
If you think of like normal martial arts where it's non-combative, which is in the Olympics, right?
Yep.
Where that's a certain there's certain thresholds in that it's even when the first time I saw UFC, and it's the concept of like you actually get hurt.
Yep.
And how you're condoning actual kind of, it's not, they don't think it's violence, but it looks violent, right? Where you're going to bash someone, and especially in an environment where back at that time where king hitting was a big problem in Australia, and like obviously there's different violence happening in all different places, right?
Yeah.
Where that was, people were saying like, nah, that's not good, and then all of a sudden it just goes away because then people just start adopting it, and there's like, they respect the art of it. I'm being devil's advocate here, right?
No chance.
Can you like imagine if it does get to the point where it's like maybe that's the play, like ironically anyone who wanted to be like, you're thinking about, these are the people that didn't even make the Olympics, right? These are people that had the potential in like high school, right? and then they thought, yeah, I could have, bloody reached that height in what you call it? What's the, not javelin, the one where you high jump, like where you got the stick and then you like
pole vault.
Pole vault, that's the one. There we go. Jeez. Can you imagine? And then it's like
they're trying to take a shortcut basically to be like, I want to achieve the best, so I'm going to do it by cheating.
Like, I'm looking at this site. It's nuts how far they're going.
Right?
They're basically saying that ancient Greeks used performance enhancement. Roman gladiators used stimulants and hallucinogens. Bro, Aaron, just get off the crack.
Were you there?
No.
Oh my gosh, this guy.
Aaron, get off the crack, man. Like, seriously. This is a cash grab, or they're trying to make it. I'm actually disappointed in Peter Thiel. I'm sorry, mate. Like, there are so many other, good ideas out there. I don't see this as a good idea. I think we're like, this is a side topic, but
it's spectatorship. It's just being able to kind of.
I think we're getting to the point where like we've just got to ask ourselves, just because something is
you could
new,
do it.
You can do it. Does not mean that you need to propagate it, because in essence, I mean, I got to ask you, Dr. Aaron, like, would you want your kid to win like one of these enhanced gold medals? And he'll say yes, because he'll say science is real. All right, buddy.
Keep
sure.
science's name out your mouth.
All right, I'm done with this. I'm done with it.
Just random, eh?
It's just
Legit. Anyway, enough of that wackiness.